If you're a parent, you know this scene. It's the middle of the night and you're getting a frantic report about a monster in the closet. Or maybe it's the tears before school, or a sudden worry about, well, pretty much everything. Childhood fears, right? They're a totally universal part of parenting. But man, they can be confusing. So let's dive in and really map out what's going on inside our kids' heads.
This is the big question, isn't it? It's the one that pops into your head at 2 a.m. while you're trying to convince a 5-year-old that the vacuum cleaner is not, in fact, going to eat them. You just wonder, is this normal? Am I handling this right?
Well, let's just start with a deep breath and some serious reassurance. The answer is almost always a resounding yes. But it's even cooler than that. These fears aren't random. They're actually a roadmap, predictable signposts that show you exactly how your child's brain is growing and developing. They literally tell you what amazing new things their mind is learning to do.
And if you want the key to reading that roadmap, it all comes down to this one single concept, the concrete to abstract shift. This is the big idea that explains pretty much everything we're going to talk about. It just means that as a kid's brain matures, their fears will naturally shift from tangible, concrete things, like monsters, to much more complex, abstract worries, like what other people think of them.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning, in the early years, ages 3 to 6. This is the world of pure imagination. The line between what's real and what's make-believe is, well, it's pretty blurry, which is beautiful and, let's be honest, sometimes completely terrifying for them.
Does this list look a little familiar? Yeah. The monster under the bed, the scary shadows, the sound of thunder, these aren't just little quirks. They are the classic textbook fears for this age. And they're all powered by a brand new cognitive superpower, a vivid, unchecked imagination.
So here's the most important part to remember. You can't just reason these fears away. And if you've tried, you already know it doesn't work. For a 4-year-old, their emotional brain is firing on all cylinders, screaming, "Danger!" But the logical part of their brain that's supposed to say, hey, chill out, it's just a shadow, well, it's still under construction. To them, if it feels real, it is real. End of story.
But check this out. Here's the proof that this is just a phase. This chart shows it so clearly. At ages 4 to 6, almost 3/4 of kids are worried about imaginary creatures. But by the time they're preteens, that number absolutely plummets to just 5%. They don't need therapy for it. They literally just grow out of it as their brain wiring changes.
Okay, next up, the school years. Now, as kids enter elementary school, a huge shift happens. They start to get a real handle on the rules of the world, on cause and effect. And with that amazing new understanding comes a brand new set of fears.
So the monsters are pretty much gone, but they've been replaced by things that could actually happen. Getting hurt on the monkey bars, failing a spelling test, a fire at home, and, this is a big one, the simple, crushing fear of being embarrassed in front of their friends.
Now, what's so fascinating here is this idea that seems totally backwards at first. We think of worry as a bad thing, right? But research actually reframes it as a sign of growing intelligence. The ability to worry means your kid can now think about the future and imagine different outcomes. That's an incredible cognitive leap. So in a way, it's a feature, not a bug.
And this right here is the pivot point. It's a seismic shift. The focus of fear turns inward. For the very first time, the scariest thing in their universe isn't a monster or a big storm, but the potential judgment that's happening inside someone else's head. This is really the dawn of social anxiety.
Which brings us to our final stop on the tour, the teen years. At this point, their thinking becomes fully abstract. They can now grapple with huge, complex, hypothetical, even philosophical ideas. And with this incredibly powerful new way of thinking comes a whole new universe of things to worry about.
I mean, just look at this list. Look how these fears have evolved. We've gone from monsters in the closet to getting picked last for the team to wondering about the very meaning of life itself. Teens can now worry about their entire future, their place in the world, and all the big, scary global issues they see on the news.
And we have to take this stage seriously. The data is sobering. Almost 1 in 3 teenagers will experience anxiety that's significant enough to be classified as a disorder. Now, this isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to validate what so many teens and their families are going through. If this is your reality, you are so far from alone. It is common, and it is very, very real.
So here it is, the whole thing, the master map. Just take a second and look at how these fears flow. You can literally watch the fear of imaginary things peak early on and then just vanish.
And at the exact same time, you see those social and performance fears start low and then just climb and climb, totally taking over during the teen years. This isn't random. It's a predictable, developmental dance.
Okay, so we've seen the roadmap. Now for the most important part of all. How do you actually use it? How do you know if your child's fear is just a normal stop on this journey, or if it's a sign that they might need a little extra help?
This comparison lays it all out. On the left, you've got your normal, everyday fear. It fits their age, it's temporary, you can usually manage it with a little comfort, and it doesn't really stop them from being a kid. But on the right, you see the warning signs. The fear seems way out of context for their age, it sticks around for months and seems to be getting worse, and, this is the big one, it's actively getting in the way of school, sleep, or making friends.
Let's make it even simpler. Here are 4 clear red flags to keep an eye out for. 1. Is the fear not just sticking around, but actually getting worse? 2. Is it getting in the way of their daily life? 3. Are they complaining about a lot of stomach aches or headaches that don't have a medical cause? And 4. Are they starting to avoid things they used to do or even enjoy? If you're nodding yes to these, it might be a good time to just chat with your pediatrician or a therapist.
And as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this really powerful idea. Our goal as parents isn't to raise a fearless child. I mean, that's not only impossible, it's probably not even a good idea. The real goal, the thing that actually protects our kids in the long run, is helping them build the skills to feel the fear and find a way to move forward anyway.
So maybe we can reframe the whole question. Instead of seeing fear as this problem we have to eliminate, we can see it as an opportunity. It's an opportunity to connect, to teach, and to help our kids discover their own courage. And that's a lesson that's going to last them a lifetime.